All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chid from Unit Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time, it is Eagle Eye, not just any Eagle Eye. It's an Eagle Eye member special. That's right. This is an Eagle Eye show for members. Well, it's for the public. It's for the subscribers. In a way, the subscribers are still able to watch this. This is still going out to subscribers and generally whoever tunes in. But the only ones that are allowed to comment, chit chat, be on the stream are the members. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. It's going to be the first of two member-related things that I do. The second will be a FIFA stream, which I'll do a bit later on. It's been about 10 days or so since I played FIFA. So I figured I owed you guys another one of those. Do me a favor, please do slap a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're going to talk about some transfer rumors because I've not done this show in a while. So let's do this show. All right. Also, you might see a mod from time to time as well. So welcome, mods. I hope you're well. Again, do slap a like on this video. All right, let's go through these stories, shall we? Mr. Thomas Partey. What is going on with this story? Now, I must admit, this is a story that I saw yesterday initially and was completely deflated about. Considering that the story linking Thomas Partey to Arsenal came and originated from Ghana, I assumed that yesterday that essentially put paid to that story. What has happened? In case you don't know. So with Thomas Partey, he's obviously linked with Arsenal, has been all summer. And it's almost as though I knew, like 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of, I don't care if his story falls through in the next couple of weeks. Don't tell me that Thomas Partey was never on or he was never interested. I feel like if it doesn't happen, it is probably the club's fault, right? And according to GhanaWeb.net, yesterday they broke the news, and I put this on my community post, that Thomas Partey has changed his mind over a move to Arsenal and has agreed to extend his contract with Atletico Madrid, signing a deal in the region of about 130,000 pounds per week, which is about double what he's on at the moment. Which I must admit I was gutted at, because I think he's exactly the type of player that Arsenal should have been getting. There was a lot of hopes that we're looking to try and build a midfield of him and Mark Roca from Espanyol. I mean, that midfield sounds pretty flipping solid, to be fair. And that was supposedly the plan. Mark Roca, and I'll come to that side of the story in a little bit. But with Thomas Partey, supposedly the plan was to bring him on board into the team, and obviously make an impact, because how long have we been crying out for a player like that? A combative midfielder with presence in that in the centre of the park, and that can actually pass the ball and move the ball forward. I personally, you guys know, this was my dream signing. This was my first choice signing. So what has happened since? So obviously, since that story came out yesterday from GhanaWeb.com, I've been looking everywhere, and I've been looking into the story further, and there is some conflicting stories about whether this is true or not. Apparently, all the sources closest to Atletico Madrid believe that this is BS, that there's still a deal on the table for Thomas Partey, but that actually he hasn't rejected anything. He's not done anything. Apparently, there is a belief. There's two schools of thought. One school of thought says that he's a bit disappointed with the way Arsenal season has turned out. Obviously, as things stand, you'd say it's unlikely we're going to make Europe. Not impossible. Yesterday's win certainly helped. And obviously, given some of the fixtures of the teams above us, it is still very possible that we may finish 7th. Having said that, as things stand at the moment, we look set to miss European football altogether. Added to the fact that there's an extra complication, which again I'll talk more about, but there's an Arteta and board kind of situation where they're butting heads over funds. I'll come to that in a second. And then there's another school of thought. There's a school of thought that Partey, the deal is more or less done, is ready to be signed. That Arsenal have an idea of what he wants personal terms-wise, which they're more than comfortable with. Apparently it's under £200,000 a week, but it's above £150,000 a week, which they're more than comfortable with. And that all they're waiting on is just to find out, what Arsenal can have to play with in the budget. So I honestly don't know. I don't know. That is the answer to my video question. I don't know. I'm quite a cautious person. I think it is to do with my job. I have to be. You have to be kind of cautious in the world of HR. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Naturally, very wary in that respect. So I don't want to say that we are about to do something if we're not about to do something. Plus, I do put a lot of substance in the fact that this whole story came from Ghana in the first place. So why wouldn't you believe the Ghana source that says that he's supposedly about to sign a new deal? I guess time will tell. Usually these things are announced at the start of the week. So I would suggest that if Partey is about to sign a new deal with Atletico Madrid and we don't hear about it tomorrow, then you would suggest if we don't hear about it on Monday or by Monday, then it's BS. I would be gutted because I think he is an exceptional player. But I think lots of people, particularly when I put this story on my community post, had a pretty good outlook, which was, you know what? All right, cool. It's a shame, but ultimately, all we got to do is just rally and look elsewhere for another DM. You guys know my choice, and I'll probably do a video for the gold members on this, which is 5 alternatives to Thomas Partey. I've seen Football London's and the Sun's version. I think they're shit. So I'm going to do my version of... I've done my central midfielders list. I'm going to release that for the subscribers, and you gold members, I'm going to replace that one with the defensive midfielders instead. So gold members, you guys will get that. You'll get the silver members will get that the week after, and then the subscribers will get that the week after that. So we probably would have signed someone the week after that. Who knows? But yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way. So look out for that, gold members. You guys will get that very first. It'll be my Chigno's Best video series, 5 defensive midfielders that I want Arsenal to sign. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about Marc Roca. Marc Roca is the 23-year-old central midfielder from Espanyol. Hasn't had an amazing season, but then again, the whole team's been shit. The whole team's been shit because they've been relegated, or they look like they're about to be relegated. Either way, he doesn't want to stay at the club. As always with the relegated team, you rat-a-tat-tat just in case they have a couple of good players, because there's a chance that they're so desperate for the money, they're prepared to accept a reduced rate. And supposedly that is the case for Marc Roca. He has a £35 million release clause. There's a strong belief that Arsenal can get him for less than 20. Lots of people like him. From the bits I've seen of him, looks like a Granit Xhaka a little bit in the way he plays. The only thing I would say is that he looks like a much better passer than Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka maybe not over the last couple of weeks, but over the last couple of years has not proven to be the best short passer of the ball. Yes, he's improved this season for someone wants to say it. But I'm just saying, generally, he's not seen as this amazing passer of the ball. Roca looks like a much better passer of the ball, moves the ball quite quickly, has a wand of a left foot, of course, but actually is capable of using his right foot to pass the ball. And obviously, if you're going to replace Granit Xhaka, replace him with a better version of himself, or I think it's Arteta's motto on this. And maybe this could be the option. This could be the way forward. He's certainly a very, very, very a midfielder with a lot of capability. So much so, Real Madrid are very interested in him. They're looking at him very closely. But Marc Roca actually would prefer a move to the Premier League. He's got his heart set on Arsenal. He really wants the Arsenal move. Everton are also interested in him. Everton are one of these teams that every time Arsenal are targeting someone, they seem to jump on that wagon as well. So they're very much interested in him. So time will tell to see if we actually go for him. But supposedly Arteta's dream option would be to build a central midfield with these two, with Partey and with Marc Roca in that central midfield, which I'm not going to lie to you, it's a pretty dynamic looking midfield. But what do you guys think? Would you guys be happy with that? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Members only stream. I know that this is going out to non-members as well. I hope you guys are enjoying it nonetheless. And let's keep this moving. Let's talk about Socrates and Mavropanos. So that was the big story that came out today. Now, Mavropanos has randomly signed a new contract with Arsenal. But he's also been loaned out to Arsenal, to Stuttgart, which some might say is an unusual choice, until I remind you that a certain Mr. Mislintat is at Stuttgart and is targeting all of his signings. Supposedly, he's got a close eye on Arsenal and who he can get from Arsenal. Obviously, we knew that Mavropanos was a Mislintat signing in the first place. And listen, by all intents and purposes, Mavropanos went to last season, yeah, all right, it was Bundesliga 2, and impressed really well. Apparently, he played really well, impressed a lot of people. My suspicion about making him sign a new contract is to protect our asset. I said this to Lee because we kind of woke up to the same story and we're just WhatsApping. And I said, we're probably trying to protect our value with him. And he laughed. It's like, protecting what? He ain't that good. I started laughing. I said, listen, well, you say that. Lots of people clearly like him. This boy is not struggling for moves. So people clearly like him. And I think it's smart. I think to me, it is very smart to protect the value. If he's willing to sign, we should be willing to do what we need to do to protect our value. So I think he had like a year left on his contract. So I think this is smart. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I don't know why I'm saying below like that. It's annoying me now. In the same story, Socrates. Now, supposedly there is some conflicting reports on this. The reports I woke up to was that Stuttgart were also interested in Socrates. Again, this is another Mislintat signing. He obviously wants to sign him back. Socrates has barely played football. I mean, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is playing more football than Socrates, which I never thought I would say, but that actually is happening. The manager clearly does not rate Socrates at all, because he's not even shy about not playing him. But then there's also some stories saying that his agent came out today saying that he wasn't interested. Sorry, that there was no party interested in his services, and that he wasn't going to leave Arsenal as a result. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's complete bullshit. Straight up. The boy is not playing football. Why would he not want to leave? Plus, Socrates has always made it very clear on two things. When he signed with Arsenal, what was it, 2 years ago? He said that one of the things he said was that he wanted he figured that he'd have a very short stay at Arsenal, and he was talking about potential moves to either back to Germany or Greece. And I thought at the time it was unusual because when I saw the story, it was maybe about 3 months deep into his Arsenal stay. I thought that's a weird thing to be talking about this early into your Arsenal career. And then the other thing I remember reading was the fact that, he said this all of this year really, that he will leave the club if he's not playing football. This boy is not even coming on as a substitute. How much more starting games? So for me, there was no way. I mean, unless he just wants to Mesut Ozil the thing up and say to himself, listen, I want to stay here and collect that dough. I feel like there's no way I could see him staying past this season. But again, I've been wrong before. What do you guys think? Does anyone know anything that I don't? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. All right. What else do I have to talk to about? Mikel Arteta. So Mikel Arteta apparently is in the boardroom, really butting heads to the board about signing. So much so that supposedly all of our conversations with our transfer targets, bar George Lewis, who, by the way, is in London. I'll come to that in a minute. Remember him? Yep, I'll come to that in a second. He apparently all of our transfer targets, conversations with them have essentially been put on hold, purely on the basis that we don't know how much money we do or don't have to spend. Obviously, if we don't make Europe for the first time in how many years that we don't make Europe, that's going to significantly hit us in a year where it's already going to be tough due to the corona. All of these things are understandable, but I also can't understand Mikel Arteta's point of view. It's like, well, what exactly do you want me to do? Like, this squad is shit, and you're not giving me anything to help me. So I can completely understand, the struggles really on both sides, and it'll be interesting to see how Arsenal try and move this team on with limited funds. So you can see, I mean, we've never had a manager that's just spoken so blatantly about funds. And it's nice. I always felt like removing Arsene Wenger, we'll really get to see who this board are. Because at some point or another, the manager's going to be frustrated with the amount of money that he does not have to spend. And Arteta is what? 6 months, less than 6 months into his... No, it's July. 6 months into his tenure, and he's moaning about money. So, I mean, Stan is going to have to. I appreciate he's already taken out whatever loan to remove the debts and stuff, but he's going to have to step up because this team needs a lot of help. I mean, yesterday was a struggle. I had one geezer in the chat room. I had two people at least in the comments yesterday. One of whom is in the chat room right now, criticizing me because Arsenal won yesterday and I wasn't as positive as I could be. Now, my whole thing is this. Don't get me wrong. I think that it's wonderful Arsenal won. Please don't misunderstand me. We beat the champions. It was a great rearguard performance. And actually, if you were really paying attention to what I said, I even said in the review that for me, I like these sort of performances. I like performances where you grit, you almost that kind of sluggish way of fighting. Like if it was a boxer, you really grip down on that mouthpiece and you swing for the hills. I love them type of gritty performances. So please don't get it twisted. But you can't be telling me you looked at that performance yesterday and you were comfortable. I weren't comfortable. It was squeaky bum time for a good 70 minutes. And I feel like that squad is in desperate need of improving. So much so, I'm sorry, and I should big up DVS Dallas for his donation. Why do we continue to fail to bring in players? And that's the thing. For me, we need to be looking towards our owner and saying, all right, this is an exceptional season where normally self-sustaining, great, thumbs up, I'm all for it. But maybe we need to do something quick because we are falling down that table rapidly. This isn't just Arsenal fans overreacting. We are literally falling down the table. We've gone from a team who comfortably used to finish in fourth or finishing in the top four to now a team that can barely make the top four to a team that can barely make the top seven. Now, we're struggling at the moment to finish in the top half. How much more top seven? So in order to stop this free fall, you need to be able to do something exceptional. Meanwhile, you're looking at our rivals flipping heck. I'm going to lie, Chelsea are scaring the shit out of me with what they're doing. You know, I don't think they'll get Oblak, don't get me wrong, but I also didn't think they'd get Kai Havertz 2 weeks ago. Now it looks like they're on the verge of potentially securing Kai Havertz. Meanwhile, we're struggling to get Thomas Partey. We're struggling to get Dominik Szoboszlai, who I think potentially could be our version of Kai Havertz. We're struggling to get these people. That is a concern of mine. That is a real concern of mine. So I'm at the point now where, you know, we stand where I feel like I hope if this guy is the owner that he keeps claiming to be, he told us once to be excited. And after he told us that, we finished lower than we were last season. Or it looks like we are dead on to finish lower than we were last season. That ain't exciting, man. That's disappointment. But I tell you what, the quick way you get people on side is by saying, all right, cool. I'll take this hit. I'll call it lend for the flip's sake. I'll lend the club 100 mil. Then you proceed to get rid of all the deadwood. I don't care if Mustafi's had a good season. You get rid of him. I don't give a damn if he's had a good season. I don't care if you like Socrates in the and his effect on certain players. You get rid of him. You don't rate him, so you get rid of him. I love Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Clearly, you don't rate him enough, so get rid of him. Get rid of all these people that can actually raise some cash. You know, we've also, mind you, got 8 defenders on the books. You've given one a new contract, one just signed. Decide who it is you want, get rid of the rest. Just don't even mess around. Don't mess around. And then actually start to build this team. If there's a chance of even finishing this Partey thing, and I'll be honest, I've gone from 70% certain we sign this guy now, and I've dropped all the way down to 20%. Straight up. I'm not confident at all we'll sign him. But if there is even a chance that we can, you go ahead and you get that done. If not, I don't want you to give up on that type of signing. I want you to look elsewhere. I want you to look elsewhere and look and identify defensive midfielders that can actually draw an impact in this team. If you need any ideas, I'll tell you what, I put a community post up. Go and look at some of the comments in that community post of people suggesting names that can go on there. Oh, you want to know a name of mine straight away? Go and get Sankara. Go and get Sangara from Toulouse, who also got relegated, who also will cut a deal for that player. Go and get Sangara. You know, go and get him real quick, nice and easy, has an impact on that team real quick. Those are the sort of things I want to see Arsenal doing. You know, I'm not expecting the world. Just spend some decent money. The player I've just suggested, there ain't no way that Toulouse charged more than 15 million for him. I know they rate him as a 22 million pound player. There is no way that they get more than that he costs more than 15 million. No chance in hell he costs more than that. Go and get them. I'm not asking for the world. I'm just asking to be reasonable. So let's see what happens. Am I holding my breath? No. But like I say, let's see what happens. Once again, what do you guys think in the members and the mods? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below and in the chat room below. And the one, I will talk about this one as well. Dominik Szoboszlai. You've heard me mention him earlier in this particular rant of mine. It's turned into a rant. I don't mean it to, but it has turned into a rant. Dominik Szoboszlai is a midfielder that you guys know I rate highly. 19 years old. He scored 16 goals. No, he scored 10 goals and 16 assists this season. Excellent player. Plays in the in the Austrian league, but he's looking for a move. At first, the stories were that Arsenal were in deep, advanced conversations with him. Then Ivan the Weasel were apparently so determined to beat Arsenal, they tried to trump our offer for Dominik Szoboszlai. Apparently, AC Milan are doing what we're doing. They're trying to build a team of young players to compete with Juventus in the next couple of years. And Napoli are sniffing around as well. Well, he came out with something very interesting yesterday, which just made me think, oh, Arsenal, please pay attention. Pay attention and go for it. Because we need a player of this quality that has said what he said. And the thing that he said, which was interesting, was he said Europe isn't a necessity for him. He doesn't need to play for a team that's in Europe, which to me is a sensible thing. The man's 19 years old. So he probably thinks to himself, I've got time for that. Like if I join a team and they don't work their way up to that level, I've got time for that. It's like, Arsenal, please, bro. please, bro. This is not hard. It's not hard. He's 19. He don't cost the world. I think it's like 22 million euros they want. That's his release clause. It doesn't cost the world, and he's such a good player. Don't let this be another one. You know, because we should have got Kai Havertz. What was it? I think we identified Kai Havertz when he was 17 or some shit. And now he's about to go to Chelsea for 100 million euros. Don't let this be another one of them. So just go and get him. Go and get him. Go and get him. It was so weird that he mentioned that, because I'm pretty sure AC Milan are at least in Europe. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat room, Ben, you're usually knowledgeable. Where are AC Milan? Because it was so weird that he'd come out with a comment like that. Almost like he's talking directly to Arsenal. It particularly weird because from what my understanding, he was very much in favor of moving to Italy. So I don't know what has happened to that. But yeah, I found those comments very, very interesting. But again, what do you guys think? Are you guys is this something that you guys will be open to? Do you guys rate him as much as? Do you guys think I'm overblowing it? Like, do you think he's overrated? What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Let's. Okay, there's two more stories I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about this saga. I obviously spoke about him probably before anyone else did. I actually did, to be fair. This saga from Nice. He's the 21-year-old defender, probably about 5'10", 5'11", big powerhouse unit. Someone that Arteta's keen to partner Upamecano with. He's a left footer, can play left back, has played left back at Nice. My understanding is that he's a much better centre back than he is as a left back, which actually means that, funny enough, he sounds like he'd be pretty ideal for the three in the back system, i.e., the left-hand side of those three. And he's highly sought after shit. Lots of teams have approached him. Lots of teams have offered him a contract. Arsenal are next up. There's conflicting reports in this as well. So some believe that he's on his way to Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund have a long reputation. Germany in general have a long reputation of looking after young players, particularly young French players. Would I blame him for going to Dortmund? I would not. Pretty sure they already have a young French centre back in their midst, who ironically Arsenal have been linked to before. So you could see what they're trying to build if he was to go there. But Arsenal supposedly are in talks with him. There is this belief that because obviously he came through the Nice system, that Arsenal will still be liable for compensation for Nice, even though he's out of contract. Just the same sort of system we have here. Had Bukayo Saka not signed a contract and left next year, we would still be due compensation. So it looks like that's something that we're trying to pursue. That's our first choice defender. For those people that have asked me previously what's happening with Upamecano, the trail on that has gone completely cold. You would assume due to money. I mean, quite frankly, no one can afford him. There is also this belief with Upamecano that because no one can afford him and he doesn't want to sign a new contract, and the club are keen to sell him this summer if he's not going to sign a new contract, that there are just loads of teams playing chicken with RB Leipzig. There's this belief that RB Leipzig will dramatically drop what they're looking for. Obviously, at the start of the summer, they were looking for 50 million euros. That fee, I think, dropped to like 36 million euros. Now there's a belief that it could drop as low as 20 million euros. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting theory if it was to work. But what do you guys think? That's the real question. Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I'll talk about this last story because I've seen it now. I do feel like this is just one of them stories that somebody's made up due to the fact that, due to the fact that who his agent is. Obviously, Super Agent Kia, as I call him, because I'm going to butcher his last name. He obviously, Kia Jobakian. There you go. I don't think that was too bad, right? Yeah. According to the Mirror, he is not far off securing Arsenal deals for Willian and Coutinho. How do I feel about these two stories? I think that Willian is a decent player. I've always said that. I've always said I don't want him signed to Arsenal, though. Like, I like him from afar. In my opinion, I don't think it would be completely ridiculous that he ends up at Everton. He feels like an Everton signing. He don't feel like an Arsenal signing. Well, that's a lie. Most recently, he feels like an Arsenal signing because all we are is a retirement home for these sorts of players. But to me, in terms of levels, I feel like he's an Everton type of signing. You know? I know it's a bit controversial, but I just feel like, for me, he's always been one of them players where I've kind of liked, but I wouldn't have. Works super hard, a lot of quality. I mean, you're not going to ever watch him and think he's not pulling his weight. I just feel like there'll be some times that you'll watch him and you just think he won't be good enough. You know, I know a couple of Chelsea fans, and they tell me that they like him, but they're not heartbroken that he's leaving, which in itself kind of tells you what you need to know. And if we supposedly have aims of getting back into the Champions League, shouldn't we be thinking along the sort of lines of Chelsea? But we've shown over recent years that shit like that doesn't matter. And we love being a retirement home for Chelsea players. I don't understand it. I don't understand what we're doing. Whether it's Czech, or whether it's Gallus, or it's Benayoun, flipping heck. Whether it's David Luiz, and now Willian. It's like, calm down. What's going on? We did this crap with United as well. With Sylvester. Like, let's stop that. Let's stop that. But like I say, I think he's a good player. To me, it's just a signing that doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. All right, so you bring him on, and then what? Is he playing week in, week out? How much have you paid him? He's already on 120 a week. To come to Arsenal, he's going to want more than that. Apparently, he's desperate to stay in London. Him and his wife where have we heard this before? A certain Petr Cech, right? Him and his wife apparently are very settled here. His kids are very settled here. They love it in London, and they're keen to stay. From an Arsenal perspective, We're looking at every freebie is being considered. Let's just be real here. And he's a freebie. It'll be an expensive one, but is it a freebie? What do you guys think, though? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say something controversial here because I don't really rate Coutinho. I've said that for years. That's not the controversial thing, though. I don't really rate Coutinho. I've said this many, many times on this channel. I think he has moments of quality. He's 27 years old now. Just think to yourself, oh, first of all right, where would you play him? Mesut Ozil's position? Don't we already have a prima donna in that same spot, earning a lot of money? You want to now have another one in there? Now, maybe that was harsh, because to be fair to Coutinho, we don't hear stories of him being a prima donna. We don't hear that. But from what I can tell, and the things that I'm identifying is this. He's moved to Barcelona, and within 3 years, they're desperate to get rid of him. So part of me is kind of like, Then the team that he went to in Bayern Munich didn't do too badly in terms of numbers. I think it was like 9 goals and 13 assists or something like that. Shame bad. And they don't want him either. So in my head, I'm now alarm bells are going off like, And then now they're so desperate that none of these two teams want him. No other team wants to go in for him. And now he's being offered to Arsenal. First of all, I don't know where they think Arsenal got money from to be able to buy Coutinho. So if they feel like we're going to buy him, you might as well get that shit out of your head. We ain't buying Phil Coutinho. But it's obviously a question of a loan. Would you loan Phil Coutinho? For some reason, I would, you know. Which I know makes no sense. I rate one, I wouldn't have him. I don't really rate the other, but I'd have him. Here's the thing. We are suffering with creative players. We are suffering badly with having no creative players. We don't really have creative players. Like Szoboszlai does his best. I don't think he is a naturally creative player. This is why I'm so keen to get Dominik Szoboszlai, because that's a creative player. You know, we have wingers that try. With Pepe, sometimes it really just depends on whether he's up for it or not. And then Saka is really your only naturally creative player in the team. And he's 18 years old. 19 years old or whatever he is. Right? Phil Coutinho actually, he has the capability of doing something. Here's the thing. I find it uncomfortable me saying this myself. My gut feeling is that if he comes on board, that he's going to do well. But I don't know why I have that feeling. My gut, and I know when I say years, you ask any Liverpool fan that's a friend of mine, I've been whipping them about Phil Coutinho for years. But for some reason, I just have this gut feeling this would be a good move. Especially on loan. On loan, see how he does. Don't have an obligation to buy, have an option to buy. See how he does, see what sort of impact he has in the team. We need to create. We need to get more out of our players. And whether we like it or not, actually, I think someone like a Phil Coutinho could be the key to someone like a Nicolas Pepe. I think you need that spark in the middle of the park. And the one thing he'll give you, hey, look at it this way. He's a player that has Premier League experience. Look at it that way. He is proven in the Premier League. And actually, I think he'll come to the Premier League determined to prove something. Like, he'll come there a little bit vexed that his career's gone like this and ready to prove something. And I think it all depends on the conversation you have with him. And if he's about it, take him on loan. Take him on loan. Like, listen, don't get me wrong. I'm with you guys. I'm not even looking at the chat room, and I already know what even the members are saying in the chat room. Even the mods and the members are saying in the chat room. I already know. But there's a gut feeling I have that if you brought him to Arsenal on loan and he was hungry enough, I think he'd make an impact in that team. I really, really do. I've been wrong before, but what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. And then lastly, but not least, Mr. George Lewis. He put out an Instagram video earlier today. So if you follow him on Instagram, you probably already know what I'm going to say. But he's touched down in London. And obviously he's come over to secure his move to Arsenal. I think this is like the worst kept secret. We know this is a done deal. Free transfer, Norwegian player, supposedly going to slide into the under-23s. We very recently lost I've forgotten his name. One of the under-23 people that refused to sign a contract. He's decided to leave Arsenal, and he was a winger. I've forgotten his name. Can't remember his name for the life of me. I think it begins with an F. Can't remember his name. And he left. So the theory being that George Lewis will just come in and take his place for next season. So let's see what he's about. Hopefully he's good. It's not a lot else you could say, really, until we actually see him. Raw talent. Not expected to see him in the first team at all next season. But let's see what he does moving forward. Again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, we have 80 people watching. Big up to them. If you're wondering how you can become a member and get in on the chat, feel free to join the members. The link to that is in the description below. If you want to come on the stream with me right now, feel free to do so. Once again, you have to be a member to do so. So Omar and Jahid, who are the mods, you're welcome to stay in the chat, but you won't be able to be on the stream. But anyone else, by all means, you could pop in. It's not a problem. I won't be staying on long, though. It'll be very, very quick. Because quite frankly, I've got a couple of things I've got to do, and then I've got a FIFA stream to do and prepare for. So, yeah. Max, I see you. Just bear with me for a second. Let me see if anyone else wants to come on before, because obviously you've been on a couple of times. So let me just see first if anyone else wants to come on. Bear with me. Let me just read DVS Dallas's comment. Thank you, my bro. Coutinho, James Rodriguez, Willian instantly make us better. We cannot rely on Willock, Reece Nelson, or Guendouzi. I'm with you. First of all, I think Guendouzi's off. We've not seen him since. He's getting the Ozil treatment right now, or the Benoit treatment. If you're a wrestling fan, you know what I'm talking about. And Willock, I just don't think is good enough. I'm sorry. I've tapped right out on Willock. At least with Eddie, I kind of get it. I still don't rate him, but I kind of get it. You know, with Reece, I don't rate him, but I kind of get it. Willock, I'm tapped. I'm tapped all the way out on. All the way out. Yeah, for real. Eric, do you want to come on? I'll have you on with Max. You should start every chat calling Tierney wifey. Oh, yeah, that triggered people. That's a new one that triggered people. People now don't like it when Lee calls Tierney wifey, which I find hilarious. Because if you let him know that, he's only going to continue it. So you just hope you have to hope he gets bored of it. There's a hope he gets bored of it. Eric, do you want to come on camera? It's only you and Max have showed interest so far. What about you, Not G? Do you want to come on cam? Depressed Guna, do you want to come on cam? Any one of you guys are welcome. You're all members. We'll have a chit chat, literally 10 minutes, and then I've got to get out of it. Eric's at work. Oh, damn it. Oh, you will? Let's bring Eric on. I ain't spoken to Eric ever, so this should be interesting. All right, guys, you are imminently going to see Eric come on while at work. So let's hope his manager does not find him. All right, I'm going to have a little chat with Mr. Eric. Hold on. I got your Insta. I'm gonna put the link on your Insta, because if I put the link in the chat, then literally everybody will be able to get on. So, and Max, I'll also send this link to you as well. Bear with me. All right, so let's meet the famous Eric Welsh. All right, so the link has been sent to your Insta, Eric. And where is Maximus? Max, I've also sent the link to your Insta as well. So we're about to have two of them on. So this should be fun. This should be fun. Buster, at some point, I want you to get a mic and or a camera, just to find out who this miserable American is. And I say that with love. I want someone to gif it, tape it, and say that, oh, Chub's being racist now. Flip it heck. All right, so this should be interesting. So once they do come on, I'm going to get their opinions on the transfer stories, the game yesterday, and then literally I'm going to get up out of here. No DVS. I'm not going to say that. That's for damn sure. But give me a second, Max. I see you in the lobby. Bear with me. But yes, just because Buster is the resident heel, as I call him, he has been for some time, to be fair. Known him for some time. I found it a bit unusual yesterday when he was coming at me. I was like, what's going on, Buster? I thought we were cool. Well, I've known Buster for a bit now. That's a long-term subscriber of mine. Eric has let the side down. Now you say that, huh? Now you say that. All right. Give me 2 seconds. I need to adjust something. But I at least see Max in the lobby. So that means that at least we'll be able to get a members chat going. Please do stick a like in this video. Hit that subscribe button, people. Hit the join. I know there's other people outside of the people in the chat watching this. So make sure you do hit the join. You know, I regularly do something for the members, so it's not like it will ever be going to waste. All right. Here we go. Let's do this. For some weird reason, Chris Wilder is trending on Twitter. I thought it was Deontay Wilder. All right, here we go. Here comes Max. Hello, Max. Are you okay?
Yeah, you good? You good, Chick?
I'm good. You're on. You're live. How are you? You watched the game yesterday?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like, as soon as the game finished, I messaged my Liverpool friend, and I was just having a bit of banter with him. I was just texting him, and I was just said, Virgil van Dijk turned to Virgil van Louise, man.
He really did. And David Luiz apparently became Virgil van Dijk because he was excellent yesterday.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, as soon as he made the mistake, and then Alisson made one straight afterwards, like, I was like, the two defenders that have been rock solid for the defense makes the mistakes, and I'm like, this game is only going one way. As soon as I saw Van Dijk make his mistake and then Alisson make his mistake, I was like, man, we're winning this game. There's no way that they're not, because, you know, the gods are with us, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I think yesterday's game was, you know, it was what it was. I kind of, you know, of course, I'm always happy when Arsenal win. I liked personally the manner of the win because it showed that we can grind a game down. We don't always have to have possession to win a game. And maybe that would have taught Arteta something. Because let's say it, I keep saying it, the man is learning on the job. So hopefully in winning yesterday, that would have taught him that actually there is a different way of winning games. And I think that's something that we very much saw yesterday. So yeah, I was happy at the end of the day. I know Lee was happy that we won, and it's kind of on to the next one, really.
And which gives me a lot of confidence in terms of going towards the Man City game. And if we win that, then obviously whoever plays out of Chelsea and Man United as well. If we can somehow manage to win the FA Cup and the remaining 2 games, that will, mate, that's going to give us a lot of confidence in terms of like buying players and because in terms of Europa League spot, there's a lot of people that are want to be out of the Europa League for a year. I personally just want to see us finish as high as we can go, and then sign some decent players and sell some of the dead wood, and trying to have a transition that's that so Arteta has the players he needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely understand. So what do you think about some of the players that we've been linked with? I mean, is there any players that you think would? I mean, I would suggest most players would improve this team. But what sort of players? I'll tell you what. What are your 3 players that would improve this team?
Like sort of, are you talking sort of like any signings, or you're talking
any
like
any signings?
Like realistic,
not unrealistic ones like Messi or anything like that. But like people that we've actually been linked with.
Yeah.
I would suggest Arsenal have been linked with a vast amount of players. Is there any ones that you kind of like the sound of and think would improve the team?
Personally, for me, if we get like Coutinho on loan and like maybe like a Thomas Partey and maybe a Gabriel or a Sarr as a centre back, or even an upamecano, one of those 3 I would be happy with that.
Yeah,
for me,
I completely agree with those 3. Completely agree.
Because you got the creative spark of like Coutinho, which he can help Pepe and Bamang, Saka, Lacazette, whoever up front who can find those passes. He did that so well at Liverpool. And the thing about Coutinho, which is probably why Bayern and Barcelona don't want him, because it doesn't fit their system. That's the thing. You could have all the ability in the world, but if you don't fit their system, and you're going to look awful, which is why he looked awful, because he didn't fit the Barca in the Bayern Munich system. But and even though he didn't fit the Bayern system, he still scored goals and assists, which just tells you how good the player is, And that's the thing. That's probably why I like Coutinho, and that's why I really like him, because I saw him when he was at Liverpool before he moved to Barca, and he was just absolutely running those attack rackets. You know what I mean? He even played against us, and you saw how good he was. He's no doubt in his quality. Partey, mate, this guy, I want him in my team as quick as we can. Like, there's some rumors about him signing a new contract. I think it's all hush hush. Like, I think there's no truth in
substance to it.
Yeah, so not really any substance to it. I think it's all media agenda. It's all shush shush. So I don't think I'm not gonna see like.
I hope so, brother. I hope so.
I'm not gonna.
I hope so.
And as for Gabriel is probably one of the most sold out centre backs in Lille at the moment. Napoli want him, Inter want him, Real Madrid want him, Barcelona want him. He's just. There's no doubt in his quality. Same with like upamecano. He's been linked to here, where, and everywhere, like Germany. There's no doubt in his quality either. Sarr, obviously, about his links. He's been linked there, here, and everywhere. So, any one of those 3 centre backs for me would be an improvement. And maybe, I'm just saying this, maybe if I'm being a little bit greedy, just a tiny bit, I'm just a little bit greedy. I really, if Maitland-Niles does go, which there's a lot of rumors suggesting that he probably will. And Guendouzi goes. I would, because don't forget, we also got the Wobie money plus the 30 million because Stan's paid off the stadium now. So as well. So if we get money for them too, I would definitely think about moving Bellerin on and try and get Max Aarons or something like that, or a Jack Grealish or something like that. You know, maybe, or like someone of those two qualities, or even maybe like a Decore, maybe. Or something like that. Maybe if Partey doesn't exactly work out, or maybe even try and go for someone like a Lewis, a Dunk maybe from Brighton. There's no doubt in his quality. He's a Premier League proven player. That's like that would instantly make our defense better. And he's also a captain and he's a leader. So
I hear you. First of all, Michael, big up to yourself. Latest new member of the Eagle Eyes. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I hope you're well. You're a long time listener of mine. So I hope you're well. And yes, feel free to come on the stream, which, by the way, including Depressed Gooner, the link is now in the community posts for the members. So it's in the members community posts. So feel free to click on that if you want to jump on and have a chit chat with me.
Oh, by the way, Chick, DVS Dallas said he wanted to join.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's up like a while ago. He said
he did say we're going to join on. Gave him the link. I sent it to his Insta, but I don't know what happened. Honestly don't know what happened, but yeah. Anyway, I put it in the members community page. So literally, you all can come on should you want to or fancy to. You don't have to come on camera, but you obviously have to say something, because I know there's some unusual ones that come on to streams and don't say anything. So make sure you do come on and contribute. Okay. Thank you once again, Michael, for joining, brother. I hope you enjoy your stay. Okay. For me, I agree with everything you're saying. I think there is little to no chance of Bellerin leaving this club. I know there's loads of stories going on that he's supposedly desperate to leave. Don't get me wrong, it'd be wonderful, but I would be flabbergasted if he actually grew a set of bollocks and said, "Oh, I want to leave the club," and the club granted it. I would be very, very surprised.
You got to also remember that he's also been linked with PSG and Inter Milan as well. So, and both of those clubs would have the wages in terms of getting Bellerin as well. And don't forget, 100%. Inter Milan. I made the joke the other day that Inter Milan's become the new Premier League team of Italy because they're signing all these Premier League players.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think Inter Milan actually. I think that move would suit him for a few different reasons. On the pitch and off the pitch, I think the move makes a lot of sense for him. Like you said, I think Inter Milan could afford him. He's not on a crazy amount of money, so I think Inter Milan could certainly afford him. I just wonder, would they take that extra step to actually do it? That's my only thing. If Arsenal are true to their word, they should let him go.
And you also got to remember that Conte is currently managing Inter, and Bellerin's quite a Conte player as well. You got to remember as well, and he suits the system as well. So, and PSG are looking at someone to replace Thomas Müller, because Thomas Müller's gone to Dortmund, so they need a right back as well. So you got to remember that's sort of the equation. And obviously there's and if like it's a bit of a blow. Like I actually like Maitland-Niles personally as a player, but if he's not wanting to play right back and he's not going to get in that midfield, then why are we keeping him? Personally, that's just me.
I think so. I don't know. For me, I've said this before, and I think people are like, "Chig, how could you say that?" And I'll say this again. I want Ainsley Maitland-Niles to stay. Like Not G says, I think we will regret losing him. But if he wants to go that bad, I say let him go. Let him go. But I also don't think it should dictate whether we keep Hector Bellerin. Let them both go. Let them both go. And all right, granted, you lose 2 homegrown players, but then that's where I think your point is important, because then you go and get another one in Max Aarons, and that solves that problem. Just go and get a Max Aarons. See, all right, yes, you've lost 2, you're bringing 1.
And you also got Cedric. And you also got Cedric, don't forget, as well.
You've also got Cedric there, who, all right, is not a homegrown player, but he will serve as a decent right-back option. And I think you're good to go. I just, to me, that's just what I would do. Just don't overcomplicate it and go and get the players required. That's just my kind of opinion.
And you know who, who's the, Kolasinac. If Kolasinac was to get moved on, because there's a lot of rumors suggesting that Arteta doesn't really rate him.
I'm still here, by the way. Go on.
Oh, by the way, there's a lot of rumors that Kolasinac is going to get moved on because Arteta doesn't rate him. Same with Socrates as well. So that and apparently they're trying to get Mesut Ozil out of the club as well. If Kolasinac does happen and we need a backup left back, I would definitely pinch Norwich's other left back as well, because there's no doubting his quality either. Have you seen the geezer? He's up and down the touchline, whipping in crosses and everything. So
you put who was left back? Sorry, who was your option?
Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he can play left back as well, and he can be like, and he's young. He can learn, off Tierney and everything else, and he can be a backup left back, so we don't have to sit Saka there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's that's a reasonable idea. Sorry.
And also don't forget, we don't Saka does, we don't stick Saka there. Saka's not really a left back, but he can play there, but he's not really a left back. So we need in Kolasinac, obviously after that Tottenham mistake, I just want him gone, and there's a lot of rumors that that Arteta doesn't rate him. So, if he don't rate him, he doesn't really want to play him. And the only reason he's playing him is because Mary's out. That's at the moment because he has an injury. So that's the only reason why he's been played. So if he doesn't rate him, why just sell him and get Jamal Lewis, or get a youth team from our youth academy to play there. So we can move Saka up front if we don't want to spend the money. You know what I mean? And since Norwich are getting relegated, we'll get it from cheap as well. Same with Max Aarons. Both of those 2 players we'll get for cheap. Less than 20 mil less for the pair of them.
Well, it's funny you should say that. So I'm looking at a story about Jamal Lewis. You're talking about the Norwich left back, yeah? And they have priced him for £20 million. Looking at that story right now in the Belfast Telegraph. Norwich have slapped a £20 million price tag on their best young players, including Northern Ireland international Jamal Lewis, following their relegation to the Championship. To me, I don't blame him. I honestly don't blame him. And they've got the parachute payments from the Premier League, don't they? So they're not under any immediate pressure to just listen to any offer. But I think what you do is you go there and you just say, all right, realistically, right? How much is it going to cost if we want, let's just say, for example, Lewis, Aarons, and Benundia?
I would actually get Cantwell over Bendia personally. That's
see, I'm the other way around. I know loads of people love Cantwell, and I think he's a decent player, but I rate Benundia more than Cantwell, in my opinion. I think he's more.
Cantwell's more creative though. Catmull's more of a creator and we need more creative sparks in our team than
you say that, but Benundia is 4th in the list in the Premier League of created big chances. So he's a very creative player. And we need people that can create big chances, because it's been a while since we've even had an Arsenal player on that list. So we need someone that's going to create big chances. That's where I buy into your Jack Grealish theory. Because if you couldn't get potentially a Dominik Szoboszlai, for example, I like the idea of just putting a Jack Grealish in there. Plus, if the whole thing is follow the Liverpool method, me and Robbie were talking about this on the Arsenal versus Liverpool preview, you need to get Premier League proven talent. And I think that's the thing about doing this. Yeah, all right, you're going to a relegated team to get their players. But quite frankly, you're getting the best players that they have. You're getting them for a lot cheaper than you normally would get them for. And I think that's what Liverpool ended up doing. Bear in mind, they got Jordan Henderson from a relegated Sunderland. They got James Milner on a free, all right, from Man City, but it was on a free where nobody probably would have taken James Milner. They decided to take a chance on him, Yeah, they spent money elsewhere, but for me, Liverpool's transfer moves was so underrated at the time. It's now almost enlightened Arsenal to, maybe we should do the same.
Wijnaldum from relegated Newcastle. You got and then obviously you got Milner from City. Then you've got Joe Gomez from Ipswich Town. They've gone out and bought like proven league players, and we kind of, as Arsenal fans, we could all say let's all get our top signings, but sometimes even the top signings might not necessarily work, and let's go for proven league players that have done it in the Premier League, and let's start getting players like they try and follow the Liverpool model, because that's why they're so good. It's because they're following the Premier League proven route. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, even what Omar says here, Robertson from a relegated Hull City, there is value there to be got. We can do this if we focus on getting the right people at the right time. And all of a sudden, members have come on. You've got Ghost asking if you can come on in the chat. And all of a sudden, look who's decided to join. Trouble has arrived.
That's right.
Are you good?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Before you're working.
I am working. A little bit.
A little bit. What did you think of yesterday's game?
I thought we did great capitalizing on Liverpool's mistakes.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get really a goal out of run of play. We didn't move the ball up, in a build up. We got lucky because Reece Nelson and Lacazette were awake and alert. That's how I feel. But I think the defensive performance was really good. I was proud to see them fight, like you said earlier in the stream. Proud to see those gritty wins against top teams. I don't want to see gritty wins against bad teams, right?
Exactly.
I want to see gritty wins against good teams. So
I mean, don't get me wrong, take it if it means a win. But it was the fact that it was against the champs. You're like, yeah.
No, it was good. I wish that defensive performance would have been there against the Spurs, though. If that would have gone, a little bit better, I think we'd be in a better place. But like you said earlier, Che, I think the fight from Thursday was or was it Wednesday yesterday, was really good. Hope to see the fight. I think Rob Holding and Kieran Tierney will make a good pair. I wouldn't mind putting them in the middle.
Okay.
Center backs, I mean, why not? Give it a try. We only got 2 or 3 games left, right?
Yeah, that's true. Ghost, by the way, I can't find you on Insta. You're going to have to go onto the members community page. That's where the link is, bro. So go on there. You'll be able to get the link.
What's funny? What's funny, Chick? I was flicking through the Anfield Agenda and Redmen TV. I was watching the game highlights from their perspective, and then when Van Dijk made the mistake, so I think Chris from the Anfield Agenda was just like, "God damn it, Van Dijk!" But it was mad.
Do they really care? Let me tell you something. If I was in their spot and Arsenal won the league, and then they lost some stupid game, let's say to Wolves at home, that they shouldn't have lost to, I would not give 2 shits. At the end of the day, they have a Premier League title. That's all they really care about. And almost living to his name. It'd be weird if we saw his face. Ghost Williams is on the stream. You good, Ghost? We've got to be able to hear you, my bro.
So, Chig, do you think if we really brought in Coutinho and Willian that would make us instantly better? I think it would make us instantly better. Like, instantly.
For me, sorry guys, I'm going to take you off until you let me know you're ready. Oh, it says poor connection. Okay. For me, Willian, I don't know.
Coutinho, yes. Willian, not so much. Willian, I think, is getting to the latter part of his career. And you remember, like, Coutinho is, 27, 28 now? He's still got years in the tank. And I think I think Willian might, in terms of, like, go to, like, was he Brazilian? He might go to, like, one of those Brazilian teams to finish his career at. That's where I'm seeing him personally. And I think, for me, we already have, a guy that's sort of aging, like in David Luiz. I don't think we really need another one. Especially with he's got high wages as well. He's on like 180 grand a week, for Christ's sake.
So does Coutinho, but I feel like with Coutinho, the difference.
You know what you're getting. You know what you're getting, and he's younger.
He listen. As much as I've said that he's crap over the years, he does have these moments of quality that can produce more often than, say, a Mesut Ozil. And then secondly, the only other thing I would say is it's a lot as a loan. I think it's more of an attractive proposition than for us to take the very limited funds that we do have and spend it on a Coutinho. I don't want us to do that. But as a loan, I think that would be a decent enough. We need a creative player,
right?
And he's Premier League proven,
right?
And I actually think he'll come there with a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
I think so.
Player.
I agree with what you said too earlier. I think maybe if Coutinho gets the chance to come back to the Premier League at a top 4 club like ours, that may be a chance for him to kind of reevaluate his career a bit and really kind of look at where he's been. The Barcelona thing again. That was 4 years ago. He was 23, 24 years old. 107 million pounds. That's a hell of a lot of pressure on the best team in the world, right? Yeah. So. Of course, he's going to have his ups and downs there. The Bayern Munich thing didn't work out, but like you said, he wasn't that bad there either. But you remember, he was the catalyst for the creativity for Liverpool when it was Sturridge, Suarez, and Sterling. Yeah, if it wasn't for Coutinho, the three of them would not have been as good.
It's a fair point.
Remember their formation? They played a 4-2-1-3, right? Yeah. With Coutinho at the top. Behind the front three, and he distributed the ball all over the final third of the pitch, and he was fantastic.
And that's why I think he unlocked Pepe. Yeah, I genuinely think he could be the one to do it.
And you also got to remember that Coutinho was basically the contributing factor for reason why Bayern Munich beat Tottenham 7-2 in the Champions League final.
Right.
I honestly think he could be the risk. Listen, I'm not high on him. I think there are other players that I think could do the job better. But if you're going to tell me 27 years old as a loan, let's say that loan fee is for a player that cost that much.
I reckon for loan fee, you're probably looking around maybe 15 million euros. 15 million euros, I reckon.
Yeah. And that's a week.
So that's probably, I've worked it out, that's probably around about the 250k a week mark, roughly. Personally, I reckon Barcelona would play half of that, or even more of that. So we'll probably take up the other half. So they'll be paying the majority of his wages, would pay the other half. So reality would only be paying 150 maybe. Yeah. So essentially that would be okay for us to have on loan. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also you got to we're talking about Willian. You know who would really love to see besides that's not really that Ryan Fraser. Why don't we go in for him? Ryan Fraser's available. He's come to the end of his contract. It looks like he's not going to sign a new contract. Why don't we go in for him?
But Max, is he really the name we need? I mean, is Ryan Fraser going to be that good? I mean, I get your point. I really do. I think he's probably a talented winger, but it's just not like you put it on paper. Is it that good on paper, Max?
Well, sometimes the flashy names aren't always the players that that we need. Sometimes the hard work. Sure. We talk about all these other players that have come from the second division. Like obviously we were talking about Liverpool was Jordan Henderson, Robson come from Hull and everything else. Sometimes you need the hardworking players that put 110% in, because too many of these players over the years haven't put 110% in, have gone missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I think he's better than Reece Nelson. I think he's better than anyone on that we have on the left. I mean, in terms of experience wise, he also plays for Scotland. He's got a number of caps for Scotland as well. He plays with Robertson and Tierney on a daily basis, so they know the partnership there as well.
Very true.
And he's not having the greatest season this season, but last season he was only behind I think it was Mbappe in terms of assists. He was doing right in PSG. And I think he's a hard-working pro. And also, you got to remember that look at Liverpool. See, they got shot on the skill from Stoke, and he's not having the greatest of seasons at the moment. But it's squad depth, and we need squad depth.
I agree.
And I don't think Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, or Eddie Nketiah is going to make it. Unfortunately, I don't see it for me. And that's me being sad, but that's me being realistic. I don't think I don't see them making it. I saw Joe Willock come on the Liverpool game. I just looked like he was lost. I don't think he didn't. I didn't see him really do it. I know he didn't come on with a lot of time ago, but sometimes when players come on, they take the game by scruff, and they can actually prove and do something. You know what I mean? And and Nketiah, I know he's got sent off and everything, but in the times that he's come on, I don't see him. Like he doesn't hold the ball up, so which is what Lacazette does so well. Or I don't see him scoring goals like Aubameyang. So why do we have him? Why do we have him? And Reece Nelson, after they scored that goal, what is he done prior to that? So,
well, I think Ryan Fraser is a slight upgrade from Reece Nelson. Obviously, he plays on the other side. But you're right. I never really thought of, I guess, the Scotland national team and being with Kearney. I mean, that makes a lot of sense when you put it in that perspective. I'm more of looking for names. When I see big names, I guess I want to strike fear in the opponents. And, I don't think we've struck fear in the opponents since about 2005, right? Yeah. So, I think any good players we bring in have to replace Willock. I think Willock is just a lost cause. I don't see anything there. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while, and I agree with Eddie too, and Reece. I think they're just small players in stature, and I
see more in those two than I do in Willock, but I also think, like Max says, honestly, generally three of them, I don't think they'll be good enough to step up. Just being honest, I just don't think they'll be good enough.
Yeah, I think Fraser would be better than Nelson, though. I can see that.
Yeah, and also you got to remember that we're not we're trying to give Pepe competition, and I think Ryan Fraser would be competition for Pepe. If he's not on it, then Ryan Fraser can take his spot as well. And also you've got to remember that he also played with Robertson, so he knows what Robertson's like. So when we come up with those Liverpool games, he knows what to do. You know what I mean, in terms of how he feeds the ball and everything else. And sometimes we got like the Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang, right? That front three on paper is probably quite lethal on paper.
Right.
But you also got to remember squad depth as well. So you got Saka, you got if you bring in Ryan Fraser, you got Martinelli as well. In as the front three, alternates and everything else as well. And then if you bring in maybe like a Todd Cantwell for like Joe Willock, then you're starting to build a team that's top four worthy. You know what I mean? If you bring in a Max Aaron for Bella, and then you start getting better. Jamal Lewis, for a class match. So if Tierney's not fully fit, then we've got someone who can play on the left side who doesn't make stupid mistakes and give the ball away straight to Son. In the Tottenham game. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you bring in there's George Lewis coming in, so I don't know where he's going to play in terms of what position he plays. I think he's a cam or something. And also we've got Mesut Ozil coming back on loan from Hull as well to work with as well. So if we remove Joe Willock on, we got Mesut Ozil who can play there as well. And if Maitland-Niles goes, unfortunately, I don't. If he's not going to play right back, why are we keeping him? As I said before, so you're making the squad better.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, guys, we're going to do 5 more minutes before we get up out of here. If you want to ask any of us any questions, feel free to do so. I've got a couple of questions I'm going to ask them anyway. Just a quick shout out, Ben. I will bully you onto the next stream. You need to buy a mic a camera, something. I will bully you onto the next stream. I want you to know that right now. And Omar, I might just have you on the next stream just because. just so you two need to prepare mentally for that process right now.
And same with Ghost. Same with Ghost.
I hope everyone is well and enjoying this. Do this from time to time. And yeah, I've done some real OT. Let me tell you something. If I could
use that working Chig,
I would jump on.
You put that working Chig. Putting that
Gary,
work.
I'm telling you, you also need to come on at some point as well. But anyway, all right then. In that case, Mesut Ozil, Jahid very kindly brought this up in the chat earlier on. Now, he put out a tweet yesterday to declare that he was ready. And in my mind, I thought to myself, you still ain't making the squad. And he didn't make the squad. I don't know if a new upgrade to Fortnite came out. I don't know if his back soreness came out. Or if he... Rooney, you better be. Or if he just decided, you know what? I can't be asked to consider you, or maybe Arteta's still just going with this angle. And Ghost, I see you in the lobby, my brother. I'm gonna bring you on in a second. What do you think of Mesut Ozil? I don't actually know both of your opinions on him. While you think about that, I'm Ghost.
Evening, gents.
Pass it away. Welcome.
Bluetooth, baby.
All around here. So go on then, DVS Dallas.
Oh, you want me to go on with Ozil first? I think we need to pay off his contract. If we can't get him to DC United, then he's MLS, man. MLS or Germany's second division. I don't know.
Apparently they've made him offers. America's made him offers.
DC United has quite a bit of money in the MLS. I don't know how much you guys follow American soccer. I know it's like an 8th tier league, but DC United actually has quite a bit of money, and they're one of the older MLS teams. And they had Wayne Rooney play for them last year, the year before he went to Derby County. I could see Ozil going to DC United. I could see him going to any of the big teams in MLS here in America. Why not?
Why can't we do what we did with Mkhitaryan for Ozil and just pay most of his contract off and then just leave him there and
It's clear that Arsenal and Roma did some sort of deal and then they cancelled the contract. In my mind, I'm like, why don't you just do the same thing with Mesut Ozil? Do whatever deal you have to with Fenerbahce, wherever it is he wants to go, and just let him get out of it. That's just kind of my opinion on that.
Well, the problem is he's living. Sorry for interrupting. He's living quite comfortably. He has ridiculous wages that make no sense. Mm-hmm. Like our owner is really greedy. I don't see our club buying off his contract, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like unfortunately he's probably on just too big. What is it, like 18 million a year? So I feel like unless Arsenal just say, all right, cool, we'll give you 10 million to go. It's not quite your contract. It's a decent offer. Just go. No transfer fee, no nothing. We're giving you 10 million. Just go. Are you really going to sit out just so you can get an extra 8 million? I don't know. I think it poses an interesting question.
And we also have to keep in mind that Stan Kroenke bought off the stadium debt, if I say it right in English. And we really don't know what it means in the future, when it comes to the transfer market.
I'll tell you what it means. I'll tell you what it means. Because Stan Kroenke's bought off the debt, we've got the 30 million assets that we needed to pay off the investors can now be used to free up money in terms of whatever we need it for. That's what it means.
Okay,
because we had 30 million in the bank to basically pay off all the different debt collectors that we had.
But you know what? To be fair to what Ghost is saying,
we can use that for other things.
To be fair to what Ghost is saying, I understand what you're saying. Short term, you are absolutely right. Long term, what is that going to look like? Are we paying him every single year X amount of money to pay off that debt? Because we still owe him that debt. Instead of owing creditors that debt, we'll still owe him that debt. So how is he expecting to have receive that back? Because you know there's going to be some sort of deal or some sort of way that he's claiming that money back. As he has the right to, by the way. He's bought his own debt, essentially. So he has the right to kind of call the shots on how much that's going to cost the club. But I do wonder myself the long-term ramifications of what that's going to look like. I do wonder that.
We'll have to see this summer how that will translate.
Yeah. Well, that's the ultimate question, guys, and that's going to be the last question I ask all of you. What does this summer look like for you? Realistically, what do you think is going to happen? Matt, let me start with you.
Well, personally for me, I think continuing loan might actually happen more than you realize. I think it will actually happen. I think the Partey thing will come through at some point. I don't know when, but it will eventually fall through. I think personally for me, I think Sar's more likely to come than Upamecano. I'm afraid, but I'll take him happily because he's free and we love free signings. So and I think those are the three that's going to probably happen. If I'm being realistic, I'd like more, obviously, but I think those are the three that's realistically going to happen personally.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's a decent shout out. Sorry, Ghost, my bro. All I could hear was Max like twice. So well, let me mute you. What do you think this summer will look like in terms of?
Well, I don't want to be the negative guy in a conversation, but every summer I have like high hopes. I get really excited, and I always, except for last year with the Pepe signing, I always get like let down, by the club and the board. So I'm just gonna let this club surprise me this year, man. No expectations, so we will see.
Okay. I must admit, I'm in your camp. My approach. And finally, you're American now, so you are meant to be the optimist.
CBS Stars is in my camp. He's in my camp.
Optimist. Oh my God.
What do you think? What do you think this summer's going to look like?
I think this summer is going to look like. I think that Star guy is going to come in for defense. I think we're going to sell Kolasinac, Socrates, Guendouzi, and Maitland-Niles. I think all four of them are going to leave, and we're going to replace them with, kind of like what Ghost says, just kind of see who we replace them with, I guess, and see what happens. I'm still pissed at the Partey deal's just not done. Why the fuck can't we just finish the deal? Chelsea say, "Oh, I want you." Boom, they're Chelsea players. I want you. They're fucking Chelsea players. It's stupid. It's stupid. The Partey thing's been like 6 weeks now.
It's so.
I don't want to get into a rant and shit, but it's just I'm more with Ghost just to kind of see what happens because we've been linked to fucking players in the third French league that we never heard of. Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen? And
the funny thing is, I think the transfer window for me is like Christmas. Like you don't know what you're going to get when you rock up to someone's house for Christmas presents. You don't know what you're going to get. It's like I remember the present, and he's like, "Oh, you got Jamal Lewis here. Okay, yeah." You know what I mean? Like George Lewis. You got George Lewis over here, and then you're trying to open the money, and it's got Partey on it, and you're like, "Oh, it's Partey in here," and then it's like you get there, and it's like got like I don't know, birthday gifts or something, and you're like, "Wait, that wasn't Partey."
I got a quick question. What do you guys think about us maybe getting some Manchester City deadwood? Someone like Guduan or someone like that.
I think they cost too much.
Yeah, honestly, to be honest,
market anymore. I feel like we're in the market of if there is a good potential in a championship stroke relegated Premier League players. That's our market.
Yeah.
There's one Man City player that I wouldn't mind having. There's one player that I'm like this on, and that's John Stones.
I don't know, I don't know. I know what you're saying. But every time we're linked with that story, I move uneasy. I don't know.
You also got to remember that Arteta's worked with him as well. And
yeah, that's a good question. Chat room. What do you think? John Stones, would you have him? Max, we'll bring a question or two.
Not from me, sorry.
I'll ask you two questions. Do you want John Stones? Is he better than what we have? And will Arteta get a tune out of him? Probably will.
He's not better than Rob Holding or Kieran Tierney.
Is he better than Socrates? Is he better?
I would say so.
Is better than Socrates.
Is he better than David Luiz? Can he pass the ball? Can he defend?
What about you, Ghost? Would you take him?
Hell no. Like
Max doesn't do any of those things well.
I'm really sick and tired of like comparing players and say things like he might be better than Socrates, for example. Like from now on, man, we need to like proper restructure the club. You know what I mean? If we get sorry, my English isn't the greatest, but if we get a player, we have to make sure he's for the future. He's like, you know, world class and stuff. No more mediocre players and whatnot, man. We've been dealing with that nonsense for like way too long. Sign the right player at all. Like my motto, to be honest.
And I never want you to say your English ain't good enough. It's better than mine.
Cheers.
It's quite mixed in the chat room. Some saying yeah, he's better than Holding. Some saying no, he's the English Mustafi. It's very mixed. I think the Arsenal fan base generally would be like that. Like, oh, don't know about that. I mean, on the one hand, here's my whole thing on John Stones. If he's not good enough for City, does that mean that he's now good enough for us? But then City are on such a different level to us. You probably think, yeah.
One second, Chick. But see, here's where I disagree with that line of thinking. It's hard to compare players from one club to another, right? If you go past the last 15 years, would we have said that with other players that we brought in? You know, you don't know how a player is going to react until they're in the game, right? Until they train with the team, they're in the game. You know, to say that's like saying like, well, Willian was great at Chelsea, he'll be shit at Arsenal, or this player was great there and they're going to be crap at Arsenal. There's really, I don't think there's any real data to back that up, right? It's really kind of just like you're really just thinking you're thinking outside the box. But we really don't know until we really see, right?
And you also got to remember the argument I was having with Coutinho, right? You know, the reason why he maybe looks so poor is because maybe it's not the system doesn't suit him, or maybe it's because. And also you got to remember the reason why he looks so poor is because he had Fernandinho next to him for large parts of the Man City games. You know, you got to remember that because Laporte was out. You know, Otamendi was gone. You know, and all they had was injured. Sorry, and Company had left. So it was John Stones and Fernandinho, and Fernandinho is not a setback. You know, so
I think there is a very reasonable chance that if Stan somehow farts out money out his ass and gives it to Arteta, there's a reasonable chance that he may decide, all right, go on, let's go for John Stones. I think there's a very reasonable chance he does that, because I just feel like, almost like you guys have kind of all alluded to, he's worked with him before. And I think Arteta likes the idea, particularly in defenders, and I think we've seen that with Socrates. He wants defenders he can trust.
And he wants defenders that can pass the ball.
Luiz, but he clearly trusts him. I don't get it either, but he trusts him.
And also, Chick, don't forget, he wants defenders that can pass the ball and break the lines. And John Stones can do that. And don't forget, he can also, as well as being able to pass the ball and break the lines, he can also he can do what David Luiz does and make that 30-yard pass over. And, you know, and is he better than Mustafi? Yes. Is he better than Holding? No, that's left up to debate. Is he better than Socrates? Yes. Is he better than David Luiz? I think he is. So it's an upgrade? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, here's my question to you, Max, though. Would you have him over an Upamecano?
No. If Upamecano is available, if Upamecano or even Sa or whoever, Gabriel is the first priority, then go do that.
Okay.
But go do that. But that's why I was like this with him. That's why I was like this. I was in middle ground, right? But
Let me ask you this: John Stones or Nathan Ake?
Nathan Ake.
All right, it's got to be John Stones. John Stones for me.
I'll throw one more name: John Stones, Nathan Ake, or Tyrone Mings.
Nathan Ake, Dutch international, knows how to defend. He's just been put through the ringer in his early career. Like Lee said, he's class.
I fully agree. I'm Dutch myself, and I've seen
I would rather
play a lot, and he's quality. He really is.
I would rather have Dunk over Ake, to be completely honest with me. I would rather have Dunk over Ake. That would be just me, because Dunk's more of a leader. We need leaders in this team. We've seen it over and over again. Some people, and look at the Liverpool team. They're full of. Look at the Man City team. Look at the Liverpool team. They're full of leaders. You got Van Dijk, who's a leader. Jordan Henderson's a leader. Alisson, who commands the goalkeeper, is the leader. And we need leaders in this team. And sometimes, and I think Ake's quite young, and we need like a proven sort of leader in there. Like David Luiz supposedly is the leader, supposedly. We need leaders in the team. If we put a leader next to like someone like an Upamecano or someone that's like a Holding or a whoever, then we'll see the best of them, I reckon, because they're switched on and they've been there and done it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I think that's a reasonable argument. Let me ask Ghost and DVS Dallas and the chat room, and then we'll get out of here. Dunk or Ake for you, Ghost?
Nathan Ake for me all day.
Really interesting. Okay,
I have seen him play quite a lot. I'm Dutch myself, so
yeah. So you have
all he's about. He could be the perfect fit for Arsenal, in my personal opinion. Perfect fit.
I said, well, I like Ake. I must admit, I like him. He's a little injury prone. It's my only worry with Ake, but other than that, I like him. And there's something that kind of I know people will make the assumption, but you bring him in and you think, oh, Virgil van Dijk, another one who's Dutch, big presence. You just think to yourself, yes, bring him in. How about you, DVS? Tell us.
I'm definitely going to say Nathan Ake. I think he's a lot more mobile than Stones and Dunk. Dunk and Stones, I get what Max is saying. They're strong, hard, tall guys. But are they really that mobile? Nathan Ake can get up and down the pitch, I think, relatively fast. Not that we'd want him to, but I just see like these tall defenders just getting skewered by forwards. Josh Stones has gotten fried how many times by Liverpool and United and us. We've pulled John Stones' pants down many a times, as well as Lewis Dunk's. I mean, they're decent defenders, but Nathan Ake, I think, it just has that mobility about him that the other two don't.
What you say about Dunk and everything else, but we've gone the double pulled over us against Brighton, for Christ's sake, and and you say they're not mobile, but I've seen Dunk run as probably as quick as Van Dijk on times when he has the ball, and sure. Same with John Stones. John Stones, is probably not the fastest centre back in the world, but he's certainly pacey enough in terms of to make use of what actually Arteta wants, and since Arteta's here, we kind of have to have players that fit the Arteta system. You could have all the players in the world, and if it doesn't fit the system, then they're going to look dreadful. I think Nathan Ake would fit the system. Same with Dunk. Same with John Stones. I think all three of them. And same with
all three are better than what we have. That's what
and all three of them better than what we have. And I think also same with Gabriel, same with Star and Upamecano. I think they all those three also fit the system. It's as you said, it's determined on how much money we're going to spend and how much money we have.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I like the idea of Ake as well. But only over if. And I like Dunk as well for the reasons that you stated. But the only reason I prefer Ake is A, he's a little bit younger. B, I think he is a little bit more mobile. And C, I do think he's a little more versatile than Dunk. And I feel in a team where the manager clearly likes the idea of changing the shape a lot. He can play anywhere in that back well, maybe not right back, but anywhere in that back three, certainly. And I think he would actually be favoured, particularly if we weren't able to get a Sarr for whatever reason.
Look, Ben just said it. Ben just said it. Aki can also fit in left back if needed as well. And Aki is left-footed.
Exactly. So I feel, and Arteta likes his left-footed centre-backs. So I feel like for me, that to me is a slightly more attractive version. Plus, I'm very wary about making this comparison considering everything that's happened this week. But hopefully Ghost will understand when I say this. The Dutch can defend when they want to, you know. And I just like the idea of a Dutch defender. I really do. I like the idea of just a big Dutchman at the back, just playing football, you know. We've seen what Virgil van Dijk can do. Let's get our own version of that. And I think that could be Nathan Aki. Listen, I've been talking about Aki, so you guys have heard me really sell you guys on Aki for a long, long time. I would love it. I just think Bournemouth would ask stupid money for it. I think they're going to ask a good 25 to 30 million for him, even if they get relegated.
That's worth it.
That's the only problem.
25-30 is a good deal for Nathan Aki.
I agree.
If he stays fit, I agree. If he stays fit.
What happened with our links? I know you got to go, Chick, but what about Jonathan Tah? Did that just die in the water?
Yeah, I think so. There was some talk about Jonathan Tah a month ago that they sent some scouts over to watch him, or watch videos or something. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, apparently they were left unimpressed.
Hey guys, can you mute your mic just for a sec so I can hear Chig what he's saying?
Sorry, come again?
Yeah, it looks like for whatever reason they don't like him. So, and it does explain it because every time Jonathan Tah is linked with a move somewhere, he never seems to leave, and it makes me wonder: is he that good? So I do wonder. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys have liked this. Considering I was supposed to end this an hour ago, I hope you guys have liked this and enjoyed this. Thank you to my wonderful member guests for joining the show. I've actually really enjoyed this. This is another member stream I've very much enjoyed. So thank you to Ghost, to DVS Dallas. I finally met him, and to Max, of course. And guys, this is what we do. This is the member stream. So if you want to become a member and you can find yourself alongside me, and we'll just have a chat. You forget people are even watching. It's nice.
Can I ask you one question before you guys go? One question.
Go.
Right. Okay. Well, would you change the lineup from the Liverpool game and like for the Man City game? And what would your score prediction be?
You can't. I'm not answering this because I've got a preview tomorrow. So
okay,
you guys.
I went to 4-4-2 with Abour and Roca up front, with the same back four, maybe the Suarez on the right, and I would have Saka on the left, Pepe on the right, with Ceballos and Xhaka in the middle. 4-4-2. That's what I would change to go to City.
Interesting. Okay.
Eight guys behind the ball, 2 guys up front for the counter.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know what else we're gonna do. So, but I gotta go. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, go on. Head out.
Cheers, fellas.
But personally, for me, I would probably keep the same system that we had for Liverpool. Personally, for me, I would keep the same system, and I would, do pretty much. I would play the same team that played at Liverpool, pretty much.
And
I'm going for 2-1. That's my score prediction. 2-1.
Optimistic. Go on.
No, I fully agree with what Dallas said. Score prediction. Well, City always scores goals, so let's say 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay.
After the last result.
You guys are optimistic.
It's not really realistic, but we can dream, right? We can often dream.
And you have to remember, and you got to also remember that we beat Man City and Chelsea in the FA Cup the other time.
We do have good,
and no one gave us a chance as well
against Man City. It's true. But gosh, man, flipping heck, man, give us a little bit of a chance than that. All right, guys. We're gonna head up out of here. Please do hit that like button. Subscribers, I know you can still see us, so do hit that like button. And I was gonna do a FIFA stream tonight. I'm now not gonna do one. I'll do one on Sunday instead. So make sure you look out for Sunday's FIFA stream.
Wait, Chief, before you go, two things before you go. Crystal,
say it again.
And when's your next member stream? So Crystal Palace drew 1-1 with Man United.
It's 1-1 for Man United.
1-1 with Man United.
And Palace, did you say?
Crystal Palace. Yeah, yeah. And when's your next member stream?
Don't know yet. It'll be this week. But the other half is demanding my time this week. And she doesn't know that there's a game on Saturday, so I'm going to have to negotiate that. So we'll see. Probably Sunday, mate. Probably Sunday. So I like my Sunday. I like these evening streams. They work well. So I'll probably...
Do you know the funny thing is... The funny thing is, Chick, you've had more member streams than Lee's had recently.
Oh, really? Say that again for the people. Just so they know. Just so they know.
Guys, Chick, all members that are in here, Chicks have more member streams than Leaks had in the last week.
Dear. All right. We are out of here, guys.
Wonderful evening, gents.
All right, thank you.
And enjoy yourself. Would help if I end the stream.